Welcome, everybody, to another Sunday evening with the Young Group. It's pretty awesome to have everyone here. And it looks like we're still waiting for some people to join us, but let's go ahead and we have an interesting topic for tonight. Before we start, any of our new students who are in the Young Group right now came to the Congress this time? Do we have anyone? Yes? You want to share something, maybe?
This is actually my second round with the Young Group, but it was my first time at the Congress. And first of all, I want to thank you for everything you did so hard. You were keeping all the plates spinning. I just want to thank you so much. And also I want to say that the meeting that we had before the Congress was such a good prep for it. I just can't thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Anyone else?
Yeah, it was an awesome connection. Great seeing a lot of people there from the Young Group. It was really fantastic. Over the top this year.
Yeah, I agree with David and Kathy. The Young Group and preparation in the Zoom made the Congress seem to go a lot smoother. I think that had I not had any experience workshopping, I think I would have been lost completely. So thank you for that.
I've just got to say it was just totally unbelievable. It was great meeting everybody that I see here and all the teachers. And it was just such an experience. I can't even put it into words.
What did you think of what I just said, by the way? Did that make sense?
Brilliant.
Good. I shouldn't have said what I was going to say anyway, probably. No, I was just going to say to the moderators that I know that some of you, I mentioned today that we would have an opportunity to help with the EC since they need some help with moderators there. But since I'm here with you, I can't really take care of the logistics of doing that. And so it may be next week when we do that. But you're amazing for volunteering, all of you. You're just great. Who did I just cut off? I'm sorry.
I don't think you cut anybody off. I think we were finished.
Let's try to we'll do a session. I'll keep my microphone muted and we'll see how it goes this time. What do you think? That might be an interesting lesson here. So, if you guys remember, I know it was like the last, in our last lifetime when we met, and since then we've been through this tremendous Congress. We talked about the importance of the society and how we need each other and how sometimes we need to make a friend greater than me and sometimes I need to be greater than the friend and sometimes we have to be equals, if you remember that little thing there. Well, apparently there's this thing called love of friends. And you've probably heard something about that, right? Have you ever heard of that? Love of friends? Apparently love of friends is some kind of jumping board towards love of the Creator. It seems like we can't do anything without love of friends. It's an actual necessity. It's not just something that, it would be nice if we could just love each other. How cool would it be if we loved? No, it's like we need to love each other for us to advance. And today we're going to talk about that a little bit. Just 1 second. In fact, we're going to be reading today in the Rabash Social Writings. Where's my book? Here it is. In the Rabash Social Writings, we're going to be going into an article on page 12 called Concerning Love of Friends. I think, what could you possibly write? Love of friends, but we're going to go into that in a little bit. But before we go there, we're going to do a little something that we do a lot between us. We're going to play a game. Anyone know why Kabbalists who are serious about spiritual advancement and are here to reveal the Creator would possibly want to play games, what's the place of a game here in life? Freeform, anyone who wants to add something.
To get closer to each other and learn more about each other.
Okay.
Maybe because it brings out the ego because you want to win.
Who's talking right now? It's very low.
I said maybe because it brings out the ego because you want to win.
Okay, yeah. More?
It goes along with the principle of that I've heard before called fake it till you make it.
Nice. Anyone else?
Learning is play.
Yeah.
It helps to establish the connection.
The reason I didn't reply just now because I couldn't hear the last person.
I was saying it helps to establish the connection between friends.
Yes, very well. The technology we have is awesome. It allows us to connect, and we get to do this this beautiful thing together. But if you don't talk directly to the microphone, friends, it's kind of hard for everyone to hear you. So some of you have just awesome microphones, and it just works fine. But if not, then sometimes you have to like lean into the microphone to make it happen, or configure it, or do something like that. And by the way, those of you who don't have cameras on and you can still put them on, it would be very nice to see you, so that we can feel like we're all in the same room. So we're going to play a game, and sometimes we play games that don't make any sense whatsoever. Why? Because like you guys said, it's like sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Sometimes if you think about it, how a child grows up next to his father, like a boy has his little toy hammer, and he's kind of like mimicking his daddy, like, you know, going like that. But that's how he's actually learning how to do the things that he will grow up to do, or driving a fake car, or playing with a little doll and nursing a little doll and becoming a mother or father with that, right? So we're going to play a little game, and if you think about it, we need to create some kind of special connection between us, a very unique connection that will help us reach a state of unity between us that will help us create what we call a kli. A kli meaning a vessel to receive the light. We want to attract the upper light to enter between us and become. We want to become suitable for that light to enter us. So what better than let's play animals? Makes no sense, right? Maybe after we do it, it'll make sense. This game is called the zoo game. Okay, I didn't invent it. I'm just basically going to lead you on this game. We'll get to be a little silly, and it's a good thing also. Break the ice a little bit between us. So in a second, everyone's going to unmute their microphones. But before we do that, let's do this. Everyone close your eyes. Okay? And while your eyes are closed, I want you to imagine an animal. Lance, not a rhinoceros. Why did I say Lance, not a rhinoceros? Because I want you to imagine an animal that, for example, I'll give you an example. If I actually made it, if I was thinking of a chicken, then if I was called upon, I could go, buck, 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 and then you'd kind of know that it's a chicken, right? But if I said rhinoceros, you're like, does someone know how a rhinoceros makes, what sound it makes? No, right? So once again, close your eyes. Think of an animal, but think of an animal that you could make a sound of it, okay? And now, does everyone have something in your mind? Something, right? All right, so now we're going to do a little connection game. Everyone unmute your microphones. Hopefully you don't have like noises in the background too much, but let's everyone have their microphone unmuted. There you go. And the way we're going to do it is this way. We'll keep our eyes shut, and just randomly, someone's going to start making the noise of his animal. Once we hear that person making that noise, we'll all mimic him or her, okay? For example, if I went buck, 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 everyone's going to go buck, 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 right? Just as we're doing that, someone else will interject his animal, and then we'll all move to that animal. And then as we're doing that, we'll move to another animal. Each time someone will bring up some animal, okay? Silly, it's childish. Let's do it anyway, okay? You guys ready? All right, let's go ahead. We're shutting our eyes right now so we can feel nice and not completely ridiculous. And let's do this together. Who's going to start us off? Beautiful. Give yourself a big round of applause. I want you to look at the screen. I want you to look at the faces of the friends around you. Tell me if you see someone not smiling, or if you don't see someone without a nice, big, filled with light and feeling a good right? All right, now let's mute our microphones. Okay? There you go. We got Adria to laugh. That's all that mattered. We got a good belly laugh out of everyone. We got a big smile on our face. Why do we do something like that? For a second, didn't we feel like really, really connected? I mean, really like we're friends. We're together. We can do anything next to each other. We rely on each other. We're in a safe place. We can be silly with each other. We can do all that, right? So we have this special moment of unity between us that we just created through a game. How can we now enter this lesson with that feeling? With that feeling like we're coming into this lesson together. Not coming into the lesson, Linda wanting it for herself, and Vesna wanting it for herself, and Johnny wanting it for himself, and Oscar for himself, but each of us is coming here together for this thing. Right? We're about to talk about love. It's like kind of important for us to be together on this. We call this concept being as one man in one heart. We want to be in that feeling. So I have a question for you. How do we create this feeling that we just had right now throughout the whole lesson? Where we truly feel this atmosphere in this whole session of being as one man in one heart.
I remember at the moment I was thinking that I wanted to make sure I heard everything that was being said so I can make sure the friend know that I was imitating what they were doing.
More?
The self-annulment, that thing where we become a zero and the friend is most important. It's putting that into practice.
To listen to each other and listen to what each person in your group is saying.
So not only listening, but having a safe place where we can share our hearts.
Being aware of how I felt during that exercise and looking for that feeling again.
I think just looking at the faces now, after all we played a silly game and laughed, it always, like starting with happiness and looking at all of you is gonna go through the whole lesson, and that feeling is going through the whole lesson.
If I may add, I think one of the key ingredients is the speed of passing it on to the friends.
Another factor was that we forgot about ourselves. We had our eyes closed and everybody was doing the same silly thing. And we just forgot about, do I look foolish or anything like that? Just got over ourselves.
Yeah, and like Sarah said, my propensity is to think that I'm taking a lesson, and I need to learn how to think of it like we are taking a lesson.
Very good. Very good. All right. A big part of what we have to do in our path, on our spiritual path, is to do something that changes our nature. What's the nature we were born with?
Self-love.
Self-love, right? What do we refer to it in Kabbalah?
Will to receive.
Ego.
The will to receive, right? Ego, right? And somehow in this process called Kabbalah, we have to change ourselves from self-love to love of
Friends.
Others.
others, friends, the creator, right? Something that is not me, right? Let me ask you this question. How can love of friends help us change our nature? Once again, how can love of friends help us change our nature? I'm going to actually send some of you into a breakout room so we can do this in a workshop format. And then we're going to go into this article. Okay, it'll be a good warm-up for us. But think about it. How can working on love of others help us change our nature? Let me see if I can get this to happen. And go.
Okay, so the question is, how can love of others help us change our natures? Anybody want to start?
Well, I'll go ahead and start. That's kind of what I had said already, is that, I mean, I know myself. I'm in it for me. That's what my whole life has been about. But if I can find a place, an environment to practice loving others, if I can go to that environment consistently, it's got to be like going to school. I'm hoping. Next.
It shows us our opposite nature. So since we are self-love, by trying to love others, we can see the complete opposite. And then just that's how we kind of get through this world, is by comparing opposites. And that should lead us to a change in form.
This is not in the act, but it's in the mind and in our hearts, which is difficult to do. And like Tim said, it's against our nature. So when we try to do that, we are working against our nature, against self-love.
You guys hear me? Because I don't have like a screen of myself in this group. Can you guys still hear?
Yes.
Okay. What I feel is that this group gives me a place to start to be concerned about other people in place of my own concerns. It's a group of people that I can start to concern about them and try and forget about my own concerns, so I can take the first step to getting out of myself and getting towards a vessel of bestowal.
Roy, your microphone sounded a little low. I'm sorry, Lance. Your microphone sounded a little low that time.
All right, I'll try and, because like I said, I don't even have a screen in my, so I don't even know if I'm in this group, but I can see all you guys.
That's better.
You can hear me better that way? All right.
Yes.
Do you want me to repeat? No. You guys just go on from what I said. I just said that I think the group is the place to start bestowing to, instead of bestowing to myself. So that's why I like it. To change my nature. Next.
Yes. So Merle, in that process of bestowing and connecting, there's something that happens really beyond ourselves. Yes, practice is important, connection is important, and yeah, it all comes together as a method that works for us. Next.
Because it is our nature, it is extremely difficult for us to change from vessels of reception to vessels of bestowal. And we are going to get into a situation where we realize that we actually cannot do it alone. We're going to need the friends and the Creator to assist us in changing from reception to bestowal. So this is the perfect way to put this into practice and have a reversal of egoism into bestowal. So there's a very clear methodology and approach on how to do it. L'chaim, friends.
I think that's exactly right. We got to make it a habit. We make it a habit, it becomes natural to us. Even if we don't feel it at first, we still do it and do it and do it until we do feel it, and it becomes our nature with the help of the Creator and the friends, of course. Next.
Yeah, no, I think, as they were saying, practice, and it isn't our nature. But if in this society, if friends are given to you, and you see that they're given to you, and their intention is true, that they truly want to give to you, it's not our nature. So we can actually start seeing our true selves. And so often when we give things, we're hoping to get something in return. And here maybe we can start practicing giving with the intention just to give and serve the Creator. Leonardo?
Yes, I think we need to is how can change our nature is by changing our view of the mirror. Don't see in the mirror myself and my characteristics and my needs, but see on the mirror the needs and the characteristics of my friend. What my friend needs of me, what can I help my friend to be a better man, me and them, etc. I think changing the view of the mirror can change our nature.
And there's so many opportunities for that when we meet together in the 10. Like right now, Amon Cote writes, once we are able to overcome our self-love and move into love of friends, we are able to change how we relate to everything around us, thereby changing our nature. I cared enough to want to read what he said, and he cared enough to write what he said for us. So we both get to practice bestowal on so many levels during the workshop.
I think we'll start over again. Does anybody want to go? Oh, we're coming back, I think.
Yeah, that was okay. A lot of good things to say, guys.
Just going to give everyone a few seconds to come back, okay? That's a rule. Since you are in the main room, if you see people coming back, don't stop. Keep going until we start the next round, okay? It's too late this time, but next time, just keep going. There's no reason to waste 1 second of us being together when we could be interchanging love between us, okay? And we should be back as we speak. I think the magic button just got pushed. All right, looks like we're all back now. Okay, so this article is very unique. Rabash actually starts by posing 3 questions to us, and then follows up with an article where he goes into it and opens it up. And one of the ways we like to handle Rabash articles is we read into it, we try to digest it, to pull out of it advice, to pull out of it suggestions that Rabash is giving us, to try to find what's inside there, what we feel in there, what gems are inside there that are hiding, that are just waiting for us to be able to work together with. So before we do that, let's see if I can operate some technology here. And let's watch a quick Rav clip that will prepare us for this special thing.
We need to try and be under the influence of the Creator. How do I know what the influence of the Creator is? When I read in the books, am I under his influence? No. Because it all goes through my egoistic filter. And I accept that which I understand, that which I feel, and what I want. Rather, only when it comes to me through my environment, then it is considered that I am under the bestowal, the influence of the Creator, because I dwell amongst my people within a group, within an assembly of souls where the upper light is, where the Creator is. That's why there is no chance for a person alone reading a book, engaging in anything, disseminating in study or anything. Alone, nothing advances. It could be that it operates somewhat, but to the point, he's helping building something, but spiritually, no advancement. We need to so much understand that connection is the vessel for revelation.
Okay, you should be able to hear me now, right? Cool, that worked. All right, so apparently we're going to listen through the vessel called the assembly, the vessel called the group, the vessel called our friends. And we're going to go into this article. Everyone has it open, page 12. We're reading from the Concerning Love of Friends. And here are the three things that Rabash poses for us. One, the need for love of friends. Remember, we talked about one of the first things we said today. Apparently, there's a need for love of friends. Two, what is the reason I chose specifically these friends, and why have the friends chosen me? And three, should each of the friends disclose his love for the society, or is it enough to feel love in one's heart and practice love of friends and concealment, and thus not need to openly show what is in his heart? All right, so three interesting questions here, and we want to see where Rabash is going to take us with this. How about Adam? Could you read for us a little bit?
Sure. Paragraph 3. Should each of the friends disclose his love for the society, or is it enough to feel love in one's heart and practice love of friends in concealment, and thus not need to openly show what is in his heart? It is known that being humble is a great thing, but we can also say the opposite, that one must disclose the love in his heart toward the friends, since by revealing it evokes his friends' hearts toward the friends, so they too would feel that each of them is practicing love of friends. The benefit from that is that in this manner, one gains strength to practice love of friends more forcefully, since every person's force of love is integrated in each other's. It turns out that where a person has one measure of strength to practice love of friends, if the group consists of 10 members, then he is integrated with 10 forces of the need who understand that it is necessary to engage in love of friends. However, if each of them does not show the society that he is practicing love of friends, then one lacks the force of the group.
Hold on. So Rabash says something interesting here. He's like giving us a contradiction here. On one hand, we know it's good to be humble, to keep things to yourself, not to be outwards in our expression of certain things. On the other hand, he said, no, there's a benefit to disclosing one's love openly. It adds a force to it and everything like that. Where is it okay? Where is it not okay? How do those two things even sit together? You get the point here? I'm supposed to be conveying love of friends to my friends here. But it's known that you have to be humble and you shouldn't be, disclosing things too openly. Who knows what I'm, sharing here to people? It could be, harmful. On the other hand, no, you should disclose it, and you should openly take care of telling everyone how much you love them and everything. Where do those two things fit in your guys' opinions? Hold on. So the question I'm asking basically is, what are the benefits of being humble, and what are the benefits of disclosing one's love outwardly? Is there a contradiction between the two? Do they both work together okay? When is it okay to use this one? When is it okay to use that one? We're going to do that in a workshop format. You guys got the question, right? What are the benefits of being humble and disclosing love of friends? What are the benefits of being openly disclosing love of friends? Is there a contradiction between the two? Is it okay to use both of them? When do you use this and that? Here we go. And the friends here can start right away.
Okay, the question is, what are the benefits of being humble, and what are the benefits of disclosing one's love openly? What are the benefits of the two? Brian, you start us off?
Sure, thank you. I think I'm thinking of the benefit. I was thinking more the concern, because if I express it openly, am I expressing it to feed my ego? Show my love, because I'm showing my ego and how proud I am. But I think it's important that the friends know how much you love them, because that's what helps build the force.
Go ahead, Johnny. No, you go ahead, Johnny.
The contradiction actually allows us, or the perceived contradiction actually allows us to be aware of how we can actually practice this. And, outside in normal society, it's not the right environment in order to practice this. But this environment, with people of similar vessels of reception, with the point in the heart, is able to now practice this perceived contradiction within a forum of this nature. This is the perfect playground that we can actually perform this and practice this to create the habit, where outside there it would be perceived as a crazy person or a mad person. It's just not conducive to do this in general society. So we've created and we've called the perfect environment to perform this. L'chaim, friends.
Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, I was thinking about this perceived contradiction, and I guess I just have to check my intentions, because if my intentions are to share with a friend something about me, I've got decades of practice telling you about me, but if I want to open my heart up to share with you or to learn from you, I think that's different. So I would check my intentions. This is real hard for me to do. It's not hard for me to notice, though. I know when I'm being an egotistical ass. Trust me, I know how to do that. Next.
I'll go next. The question is, what are the benefits of being humble? And what are the benefits of disclosing one's love open? Well, I look at it like this. We enter into this 10, and the idea is to bestow to the 9 other people. And each of you come in with the same attitude, bestowing to the 9 other people. So at this one time, you make yourself small, humble, and give to all the others. At the exact same moment, all the others are doing the exact same thing. And so everyone is giving to 9, but everyone is receiving from 9, or 9 times 9, you know, the 10 reflected back through the other 9. And that is the great benefit of forming this Kli. Because with that, then there's bestowal. Then something can be bestowed. There's 9 given to 9, given to 9. Everyone becomes equal. That's when we reach that moment of forming a complete Kli. And then the Creator gets revealed.
Yeah, everything that you guys said is perfect. And when I first thought of the question, I related to it more like Johnny, where it was, hey, listen, we do this in a controlled environment, in a controlled laboratory, so we can understand how it feels first, and then we're humble in normal society. But then the more I hear you guys talk and explaining how the connection works within the 10, it makes a lot of sense where we practice bestowing and we practice receiving for the group. So I think you guys have absolutely nailed it.
I think to be humble is important because that makes it easier for the friend to disclose his love for the other, and to disclose our love for the friend is helping the friend so that he can, in his fight against the ego. So in that sense, I don't see a contradiction here. Rather, it's a complementary situation.
I think everybody's hit it right on the head. I mean, if we humble ourselves and see the others as greater than us, it's easy to love something that's greater than you. It's easy to be humble and admire someone and love them openly, just like the question says. So if we can really humble ourselves to the greatness of each other, it's easy to express your love for something that's greater than you. Lance?
Thanks, Tom. So that humbling of ourselves and expressing that love for one another, that doesn't happen very many places in the world. I don't know of any, but where we are right now, what we're doing. And it is a special covenant that we have between one another, where we will esteem others greater than ourselves, and we will be listening to one another, and we will have the intention to contribute to one another and move forward as a team to have the Creator reveal himself as we are operating between us at this very moment, the space between us, the Creator can exist and reveal. That's it.
Leonardo, do you have anything to add?
Yes, I think it's a difficult question, but I think it's not a contradiction. It's more like at what time is you are humble and at what time you are disclosing. I think all depends on the word and on the word ego. If you have opportunity to disclose and you know that your ego is going to show it even a little, you must remain humble, no? Because if you want to disclose things, you need to eliminate your ego for your disclosing to be a good thing and a good thing for your friend. But if the ego is going to show even a little, it's better to be humble at that time.
Yeah, it's kind of, Brian, did you talk yet? It's kind of like when they do praise each other, their friends, it creates an envy for the other friends. When you love your friend openly, the other friends see that going on and they want to emulate it. the humble and kindness is just something that we all need to work on in society. So we shouldn't let it be a barrier, but always keep trying to be humble and kind. And Nai Amon Cote writes, the benefits of being humble is to receive from the friends, while the benefits of disclosing love is to give to the friends. I guess we start a new round. Keep going.
Yeah, so as Amon said, the benefits being humble is you receive from the friends. So you sit here and I don't have the answers. I don't know. I want to sit here humbly, but then the friends gave me answers. They spoke and they opened their hearts and they gave love, and I listened with admiration, and I feel like I could contribute that, and I want to give to the friend because they gave to me, and I just want to return it. I don't want to just be given it. I want to return it, and it's just a beautiful exercise that you just keep building on.
And so what is the exercise then in this group? There's 9 other us's in this picture, and we're supposed to focus on the speaker as if he is the greatest in his generation. And with what though? I could look at him and give him that myself, or I could realize I'm getting that from all the other 9 guys and try and say, I'm going to take all that they're thinking about me that way and give it to the center of the group or to the next person talking. So I'm not giving what I have. I've nullified myself and I'm giving what you are giving to me and trying to move that to that next person. Next.
Very good exercise. Very, very. So what are some of the problems we have with this? We know that if you look around you, if you look in society and you look at people in this world, seeing someone who is humble, it seems like it's something that you'd like to see. It's like something very praiseworthy. Oh, he's humble. He's not, full of himself. He's not prideful, and all that. And yet, there's a little danger here, and I'll tell you what the danger is. There's a couple things. First of all, I'll try to, with my awful acting, to act out a scene for you, right? I love you so much, everyone. You guys are the greatest. You deserve everything. Let the Creator give you all the light. I don't deserve anything. You just get everything. I'm a rag at your feet. Really, I'm nothing. You're the greatest. You're really the chosen ones. You're the greatest of the generation. I'm here just so you have something to step on and all that. Sounds like a very humble plea, right? I mean, it's like, I'm lowering myself as low as possible as I possibly could, right? What am I actually doing? Anyone?
Sounds like a little self-deprivation there, a little self-degrading.
Yeah, maybe also being manipulative.
Maybe, yeah.
Drawing praise into your will to receive for your kind or your humble actions.
There you go. It was a prideful act. I acted with great pride there. Look how great I am. I lowered myself. I'm putting myself in a position where, I'm corrected. I don't need anything for myself. It's all for you and all that. There's a fine line there between where I'm actually doing it. And we said that we do need to play. We do need to act. We do need to do that. But how do you do it without with finding that fine balance there? On the other hand, not disclosing it, which could also be a problem. For example, you think about it, you're supposed to reach, or we're supposed to reach this high level of love of friends, right? This amazing love of friends. Chances are, if you do, a little introspection, you look at yourself and you examine who you are inside and all that, you realize, I'm not there. I'm not really loving everyone like Rabash is telling me I should. That's not quite where I am. So maybe I shouldn't disclose that to everyone. It would be more humble of me to not share that with everyone. It'd be untruthful if I tell them I love them and I don't really, really love them and all that. See, I could be robbing you of my influence as well. So there's place for humbleness. Humbleness meaning lowering my importance in this. On the other hand, disclosing love is adding my force, my fuel to the circle between us. We have to share that, even though I'm not quite at that level of love like, I don't know, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, but that's what I'm aiming at. That's what we're trying to work on. And even though I'm not there, when it comes to my sharing with the group, I always share the high praise, the high greatest, raising the importance. Why? Because that's part of your fuel, just like I expect it from you. That's how we share with each other. Any questions on that before we move on? Good. So let's read a little bit deeper. And actually, we're going to go a few sentences back because Adam went on a little bit further into the thing where we were talking already about the 10 forces and all that, right? So let's start with, it turns out.
Do you want me to read?
Sure, why not? You read so nicely. I mean,
thank you. It turns out that where a person has one measure of strength to practice love of friends, if the group consists of 10 members, then he is integrated with 10 forces of the need, who understand that it is necessary to engage in love of friends. However, if each of them does not show the society that he is practicing love of friends, then one lacks the force of the group. This is so because it is very hard to judge one's friend favorably. Each one thinks that he is righteous and that only he engages in love of friends. In that state, one has very little strength to practice love of others. Thus, this work specifically should be public and not concealed. But one must always remind oneself of the purpose of the society. Otherwise, the body tends to blur the goal, since the body always cares for its own benefit. We must remember that the society was established solely on the basis of achieving love of others, and that this would be the springboard for the love of God.
So when I'm working on love of others, I'm doing all that. What am I really thinking in the back of my natural egoistic mind? I'm the one who's doing it. They're not really doing it. They need correction. They need something to work on here and all that. That's why we openly state it. Believe it or not, I say, you are the greatest. I love you. I would give my heart and my soul for you. I'd take a bullet for you. You are the most amazing. And you, what do you say? Do the same thing in return? You give me the same dose of what I need. We work with each other openly like that. We don't hold back on it. We don't conceal it. We know that the only way to fool our ego is to hear it out loud, for us to say it and for them to say it and for you to work on it together like that. Otherwise, you might as well give up, because there's no way you're going to get that fuel from yourself. The only fuel I have for myself is, what do I benefit? That's what I'm programmed to do. But there was an interesting thing here, and it's just basically talking about the fact that there's some 10 forces, and that if they're together, we could add it on together to each other and all that. And this is going to shift our focus a little bit today, because I know probably the majority of you have heard this, but for those of you who haven't, let's talk about it a little bit. What is this concept of 10? Thus far, we've been assembling in this room here. You went through the EC, you assembled in a whole room with everyone together. Now we're all of a sudden workshopping. We've kind of like isolating into smaller groups. And we're going to be talking about the next step. We've reached a state where we need to start concentrating on our work in a place that is a true spiritual society, a true spiritual cell. And when I say cell, it means a working cell. If you think about it, the human body, which is a magnificent, machine, has all these capabilities and all that, is built out of cells. It's made up of small components that make up that whole. A working cell consists in spirituality of 10 pieces, 10 points in the heart. Why? Because there are 10 sfirot that make up everything in reality. So if I'm working from here on spirituality, where do I want to concentrate my work? I want to concentrate my work in this perfect setup, in this place where I can work, where my point in the heart can reverberate as most powerfully as possible, where I can truly work in the place where it's meant to work, where I can be effective, where I cannot waste my energy, but where I can concentrate my energy in a place that I can actually accomplish the purpose of creation. That place is referred to as the 10. Very soon, we're going to be moving from just saying we're the young group to saying, yes, I'm in the young group, but I'm in 10 number 1 or 2 or 3 or wherever I am. And I'm going to start going through this process with my 10. Me and 9 others. Usually is the way we do it, although 10s have been made up of smaller numbers or a few more than that also. The 10 is the power, is the force. There are several reasons why we do this in this way. One, like I said, it's 10 sfirot. That's the complete creation. When you have everything in that 10, you're not missing any components that have to be put into there. The second part of it is that if you think about it, if I'm trying to work, if we did a workshop question right now and we were sitting with 26 people right now and we asked the question, it would be very, very difficult to even be able to comprehend what's going on here. My field of attention can only grasp so much. Kabbalists even tell us that that's why we have 10 fingers or 10 toes. That it's like, that's what we can hold on to. You cannot have, 100 friends at the same time, that you're working with. You have this 10 that you do the spiritual work with. And you're going to follow up with this 10 on a regular basis, adding to your framework, adding to what you do together in your 10. That's where you work it. Those of you who went to Congress got to taste it a little bit. What it means to go through a Congress, even though there were 500 people there, you were sitting with your 10. You did the workshops with your 10. You went through the whole process. You laughed, you cried, you grew, you suffered, you overcame together as a 10. It's a very, very special thing. Maybe I'll share with you a little bit of my experience with it. You should know that a lot of the spiritual concepts that we work with in Kabbalah open up for us. Rav waits for a moment when we're ready for something and he gives us another component. And then we're ready for the next thing and he gives us another component. We didn't start out working in 10s in Bnei Baruch. I went for close to 15 years without having a 10. That was not part of the way we were set up. We were set up into groups. But when the 10 concept opened up for us, it made everything different. All of a sudden, you're within a group and you start looking at all of reality through the prism of your 10. Imagine if right now, the way I see the world is I look at it through my eyes and my ears and my smell and my taste and my tactile abilities. And I comprehend reality through the programming of my ego, the way I process things. When I'm in a 10, I no longer process things that way. I start seeing the world through their eyes. I start comparing everything that goes on in my life, whether it's something I watched on the news or something that happened at work or at home or with my neighbor or throughout the day, or it doesn't matter while I was sleeping or I was awake, through the eyes of how this interrelates to my 10. A lot of the work we do from here on will be in the form of the 10s, which means that within the next couple of weeks, you'll be assigned. You'll be told, okay, right now you should know, Adam, Brian, your name, you're going to be 10 number 1. Carlotta, Linda, Heidi, Monty, you're going to be in 10 number 2, and like that. And you're going to go through the process with this group of friends. There'll be moments where you want to hug them and kiss them and tell them how much you love them. And there'll be moments where you'll be, get me out of here. I can't stand you. I can't believe I'm in the same tent with you. Someone made a mistake. I can't believe you put us together. How could you, right? And soon we're going to do a workshop question on this, but I want you to know that there are no mistakes in spirituality. There's no such thing as a miss. When you are brought into a 10, it is not just meant to be, it is like the perfect 10 for you. Not because I or someone on the logistical team of the young group knows how to choose you, because the Creator himself chose you. You've heard this statement, the Creator takes your hand, puts it on the good fate. And what does he tell you to do? Someone?
Take it.
Take it, choose it, right? Imagine right now if you were given a 10 that is just so cool. They get along so well. They just want to sing songs every time and praise each other and tell each other how happy they are to be together. And this is just awesome. And let's sing Kumbaya. What's the chance that you will advance spiritually through that? If you remember what we talked about in the beginning of today's session, I have to change my nature. This is not a simple task. You're talking about changing your own nature. Changing the complete, I mean, it's a 180-degree change. It's not a, I kind of like meat and fish, but I'm not crazy about chicken. I guess I could learn how to like chicken too. It's not that. It's, I enjoy eating because it fills my belly. I want to enjoy eating because it fills your belly. It's beyond our comprehension at this point. If I want to challenge my ego, if I want to challenge my will to receive, if I want to move ahead, I'm going to have to overcome something. I'm going to have to start facing, I think I heard, who did I hear? I think Leonardo said it in the workshop earlier. I heard him say, that mirror that's facing me. What is that mirror? Those 9 friends of mine in the 10, they're a mirror of my inner self. They represent the parts inside of me that I see outside of me. So if one moment I'm like, I can't believe they just said that and all that, I'm going to have to somehow bite my tongue and overcome that and rise above it and work on it in the 10 and actually ask for help to correct that. Because it'll be a perfect opportunity for me to actually advance. Versus we could also say, let's take the other way. Let's just make it, let's not touch the touchy subjects. Let's not really work on the things that we have to fix. Let's just do the things that are kind of pleasant for us to do. And to that, I will answer you, if you want that, then you're probably on the wrong path. If you're just looking for those things that'll just be nice and calm and pleasant and all that, that might not be exactly conducive to the correction of creation, the correction of our ego, for the reason that we're here. Before I continue, questions about the 10. I assume for some of you it is a new concept, or unless you've heard about this over and over, and that's fine too. No questions? That's it? You're ready to jump in and suffer?
Zohar, will there be is this something that we watch Rav's morning lessons together with on Zoom, or how do you guys structure moving forward in a 10 together?
As we go through the young group, we're going to encourage you more and more to add to your framework. What can you add to your framework? Obviously, Rav. Obviously, things that are beyond the young group. You're getting a lot of tools here. In the meeting I had before I just met with you guys, I met with people who have been through this process just recently, and came from the Congress now, and I heard the words that were coming out of their mouths, that the challenges that they faced, the obstacles, the being there in the lesson, having to do things that they didn't expect that they would be able to handle. You're getting equipped with the tools that you need to be able to handle that. You're moving into the adult world of Kabbalah. And Rav's lesson is a big part of that. At this point, those of you who are interested in starting to do that, once you're in a 10, you'll be encouraged to do so. You'll be given access to a place where you could watch it. If you're a virtual student, you can watch it virtually with the others, and workshop and do all the things that we do in the lesson. And there's more than that. It's not just the lesson. There's the gatherings of friends. There's the meals. There's the extra meetings. There's the daily prayers. There's the daily calls that we do. And there's so many things that we do that keep us constantly on target, that don't let us for a moment forget what we have to do and how we need to sail on this thing, and that if we don't hold on to each other really, really tight, there's no way I'm entering this battle. So I don't know if that answered your question, or if I went off on a tangent. I'm not sure. Other questions?
Yes, would there, I think what Tim was referring to also was when we get our 10, will our 10 only meet here in the young group, or will we have another place that we will be meeting on off times?
Yes, you'll be encouraged to meet all the time. Spiritual work, if you think that we're going to advance by meeting once a week for an hour and a half, I mean, that's a good start. It gives us some tools to work, but we're going to have to, at some point, add to that. I'm assuming some of you are already doing more than that. I don't mean to say that in a condescending way, but the spiritual environment, that which influences you and grows you, is something that you will want to add to. Am I recommending that everyone stops, goes from one time a week to 7 days a week, 7 hours a day, and do all that? No, you will probably burn out so fast that it wouldn't be a good thing for you. You're better doing it. The way we usually talk about it in our path is, just for example, if I am accustomed to coming once a week for an hour and a half, that's what I've been committing to, okay? I came into this course, I found an online course that seemed interesting. Here I find myself all of a sudden changing my life around. Okay, it's a leap. Should I go ahead and say, now I feel this way, I should jump in? There's some people who do that. I can tell you that 15 years ago, from the moment that someone handed me a book into my hands, I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped every day from morning to night, and that's all that matters to me. But, that's what the Creator gave me. If you have been in a certain thing, and your hour and a half a week was the challenge you do, now challenge yourself to doing it 2 hours, or doing twice a week an hour and a half. And then from there, move it up. If you can hold on to something and make that into a habit, it'll be much easier than to try to take leaps and leaps and leaps from where you are, and then find that it's impossible for you to do it, and then you're having another struggle within yourself. That the disappointment and the frustration and things that they'll come anyway, but you don't want them from not doing it in the proper practice. If you could practice, you have to think about your life. You have to think about the fact that you have probably families, you probably have a job, you probably have, kids or parents or things that you're taking care of. Those things need to be taken care of. If you can start creating the structure around your life so that this thing, which those of us who are all in see it as the most important thing in the world, then you're going to find a way to fit this in a way where it does not disrupt everything. You don't want to do that. That's not our way. Our way is not to tell you, okay, desert your families and your jobs and your life in this world. No, keep things stable. take care of your necessities. Do all those things. We refer to it as having both feet on the ground and your head in the heavens. That way you can do it for the long run and not just today or this week. But will you be meeting on a regular basis? Yes. Do you need to interact and do workshops with each other? Absolutely. Do you need to be watching lessons together? Yes. Should you find other forms of communication throughout the day and keep each other inspired and all that and all these things that we're learning from Rabash? Disclosing your love openly. How about, I don't know about you guys, but if someone a week ago told me during a certain lesson that they loved me, I may need that more than once a week to remember that that's what we're working on here. And that is something we're going to start adding. We're going to start adding a lesson a week and 2 lessons a week and whatever you can add. During this last Congress, Rav gave certain guidelines of what he considers for us to be able to stay connected to the source of light. He gave us a minimum of 1 hour a day to be in the morning lesson, for example. Now, if you've never seen a morning lesson, and this is something completely new for you, you need to ease yourself into that also. If you've been doing it on your own anyway, then that's great. If you've been doing it for 3 hours a day, every day, I'm not saying now go down to 1 hour, but you realize that you get the gist of what I'm saying, okay? Other questions?
Zohar, right now we have 2 lessons in a week, one on Tuesday for Patiha lesson, and on Thursday main about the social writings, but with a general framework. So are we going to be shifting to another structure away from this weekly lessons, or?
Let me tell you the difference between what you're talking about and what I'm talking about, okay? Right now, you're going through a process of preparation. You're learning Pticha, you're learning Rabash articles, you're learning how to be a group, you're learning the basic tools that you need in order to advance spiritually. Do we want you to stay in this level? No, of course not. Do you want to stay in the young group, or do you want to be the real group? The group where they're bringing light to the world? I know the answer to that, right? I think we all know the answer to that. But can you go to university before you finished kindergarten and first grade and learn how to write and structure sentences together? No. You're getting all those tools right now. The second that you are starting to get ready, by the way, the Pticha class that you're taking, that is awesome. It's great enrichment. It's very important, and everyone should have that. Rabash articles also. Although Rabash articles you're learning here also. I'm not sure are you doing that with the DC, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I was under the impression that you guys finished that course. Did you not?
Time to time, there are still references to, of course, to social writing. So.
Okay, I mean, I'll tell you, when we teach in our physical centers, people go through a couple of semesters. They learn the fundamental class, then they learn the structure of creation, Pticha, and then when they're done with that, they go through the young group. And we usually go through, a good 6 months in the young group. But when they conclude that process, they go to Rav. They don't go to hear from Zohar or from Gianni or from Mike or from Mutlu or Marcos or wherever other instructors you have right now. They go to the Kabbalist, to the source. If you're not ready for that, that's fine. We need to prepare you for that. But the second we are ready for that, there is no need to keep the training wheels on. We're always here to help. We're always here to support and to get you ready for that. But we're instructors for the basics. We're instructors to help you prepare for the real thing. When you can sit through Rav's lesson and do the work there with your 10, and sit there every day and get the real dose of light from a Kabbalist who's, connected to the upper forces in a way that we can't even comprehend, then you will realize that you may need once in a while something. Let's say you feel like Rav is going into some high thing and you feel like you need to enrich yourself, you're missing a piece. That's okay. And you can go and get at that. But to stay 2-3 times a week within the beginner classes, not that these are beginning, these are advanced classes, but they're advanced classes preparing you for the real advanced. That's what I'm saying.
So, Hart, it might be helpful to say a few words about the difference between the EC and the young group.
I tried to allude to that. The way we're changing things around, the EC is, by the way, the same thing. They have also 2 semesters. You have the fundamentals and intermediate, right? Maybe now they're calling it the, I don't know, I can't remember what the first one's called, and then
Kabbalah Revealed.
Kabbalah Revealed and something about Rabash, right? Or something like that, right? When we're done with those 2 semesters, you have options to open up other things. What are the other things? If you want to advance into true group work and to advance in spirituality, then you go to the young group. That's where you're going to learn how to be a 10, how to work in the group, and how to do all that. If you need more strength in the preface of the wisdom of Kabbalah and Pticha to understand the structure, people need these fundamental things. You need those instruments. You don't want to walk into Rav teaching the study of 10 Sfirot and you don't have the basic Pticha course inside of you. It's like you walked into a foreign language class that does not have translation and you have no idea what's going on there. And yes, you can work with intention, but it's very difficult to sit through it if you don't have at least some kind of bearings. The other things that you have is the possibility of what we call the graduate class, where Mike boils down some of the concepts from Rav's lessons. But even with all of that, those are temporary. Those are meant to be springboards to moving to Rav's lesson. Not the EC and not the physical campuses are meant to keep us there. They're meant to prepare us for Rav, for the morning lesson, what we call the daily lessons.
Zohar?
Yes.
Question is, you've made it really clear, and thanks for that it's also a personal decision to move to Rav's classes, which is 7 days a week. The question that I want to ask is, it seems like it becomes almost regional structured to develop the 10 than, this crossing continents. For example, myself, I'm on the southern hemisphere, and it's completely almost 12 hours difference to compare to you guys. So we're developing the African continent and, struggling to form the 10s there so that we can then join the Rav's lessons. But most of us already are joining directly the Rav's lessons. Is that the way, it's to go on a regional basis than a world clean and crossing continents?
Yeah, it's very similar everywhere. I mean, if you live somewhere in North America, when you're finished with the young group, you get to join into what we call the 10s of North America. Either a physical 10, if you're in a location where there's a physical group, or a virtual 10. Many of the people that you see here are moderators. They were young group 10 something. And then when the young group was over for them, they moved into North America 10, 16, 17, whatever 10 that they moved into. And now when we join the morning lesson, they're there as a 10, and, with the other 10s of all the friends in North America. It's the same thing in Europe, the same thing in Russia, the same thing in Africa, the same thing in Israel, and every place. If it's a big group, a big physical group that happens to have, 100 men and 200 women, then you actually have 10 tens of men in there and 20 tens of women in that group. Like in Petach Tikva, where Rav teaches, there are 35, 40 men 10s every morning at the morning lesson. That's just the group itself. But the fact that we're on different time zones, here we're sitting in a lesson together. And I'm pretty sure we have people from all kinds of time zones here. I know for a fact that the Johnny's from South Africa, and I'm sitting here in Chicago, and I don't know where else we have friends from here. I see Leonardo from Mexico City. I'm not sure what the time zone is there. And, there's even within North America itself. I mean, think about it. If you think about the difference between New York and California, there's a few hours. It's like not always the same thing. But since we are all on the same path, since we are all in the same process, while you're in the young group, even if you're connected to other 10, even if you go to Rav's lesson, go through the process. Don't continue your process if you don't have the foundation. If you don't have the foundation, at some point it'll come to bite you. It's not going to be a good thing for you in the future. You'll find yourself at some point realizing that you're missing something very basic that needed to be there. And if you don't have that, you'll be sorry. You'll be sorry because it'll be something that's just, you could have had it there. It's like, if you don't get the basic, imagine going and you're listening to the lessons and you didn't get the concept of love of friends to the love of the Creator. And Rav doesn't take it down to the basics for beginners in the morning lesson. He has a group of veteran students in front of him, and he's working at that level. And we need to join that. And it's not a problem. We can join it. It's not an issue. It's just that we need to be prepared for it. That's all.
So what if Johnny has a 10 here that he gets really connected with, and it's virtual, so he doesn't have to be next door. It doesn't have to be in the same county or state or country or hemisphere. Is that correct?
That's correct. But after Johnny graduates the young group, and he's joining Rav's lessons, and there is a local young group that he could actually, a local 10 that he could be joining and actually work with them in dissemination and work with them on projects and prepare the next African Congress and et cetera, et cetera. It would obviously be beneficial for him to find someone that is that can actually work more closely nearby, versus being with us. We are set up this way not to remain the young group forever, but to prepare ourselves for being in the group. Other questions? Or forever hold your peace. All right. I'll ask you a question in that case. So this is all nice and good. So you just know now that you're going to be with your friends here. You're going to be with the 10. And let me set this up so that when I click on the button, it'll go right to there. I think we're set. Okay. Rabash, right in the beginning of this article, says something very interesting in item number 2 there. He says, what is the reason I chose specifically these friends? And why have the friends chosen me? Hold on to that thought for a second again. What is the reason I chose specifically these friends? And why have the friends chosen me? Hint, hint, I don't remember you filling out a form that says I choose this friend and that friend and that friend and that friend, right? And I don't remember you sending out a survey saying, do you choose me? Do you choose me? Do you choose me? Do you choose me? And yet Rabash very clearly says, what is the reason I chose specifically these friends? And why have the friends chosen me? Let's do a quick round on specifically that concept, okay? Answer it together. No one answers alone. No one is smarter than the others. No one has the full answer. Each one of us tries to add to this answer so that what we come out with is a collective answer, something that came from the middle between us. And you guys remember the little zoo game thing we played in the beginning and how united we were? Keep that in mind also, okay? Why is it that specifically, what's the reason that I chose specifically these friends, and why have the friends chosen me? Go ahead.
Because we're part of all the same B'nai Baruch. We're all taught the same techniques. Everybody knows what everybody's trying to accomplish, and we're all on the same page.
Us and the creators put us here. We've had very little choice. We just made the decision to pursue this mythology and this truth. So, you know, there's another force at work here that we are being slowly revealed and open to.
Yeah, they say the creator always puts you in the most optimal situation for your development.
And that optimal situation might not be that we're all so similar, but maybe each of you has something that I need, and vice versa for everybody. You know, maybe we're all part of a different piece of the puzzle.
To build on what Johnny said about we don't have much choice, I look at it like we don't have much choice between what we're looking for in the friends. We only are looking for one thing, the mutual guarantee that I will bestow to the other 9 and the other 9 will bestow to me. So in that case, it's only one choice to be made, and whoever fits the bill that I come across, the first 9 will do.
You know, the creator brought me to this society of friends, and the creator brought each of you to this society of friends. So that's how we chose each other to be in this common society.
Yeah, as a part of the one soul, that's how we've done the choosing, and that's how they have chosen us. It's on a level far above what I can perceive right now.
So it is above what we individually can perceive. And it's always amazing when we see a piece of ourselves in one of the other friends, when we're in a workshop, for example, like this. Yeah, it's very enlightening.
So basically, we came together for the same purpose, and we must have the faith that this is the best group that we can achieve the purpose, and we should fight against all the obstacles on this path, you know, making us think that this may not be the best group or this may not be the optimal group to achieve it, but we should have the faith that this is the best group to achieve this purpose, this goal.
And Ni'i Amnon in the chat writes, "The friends are the lack in me, and I the lack in them."
Leonardo, you want to try?
Yes, I think I heard that the only free will we have is to choose our environment. I think every one of us choose the environment to grow up spirituality and to be more in addition with the creator. And with all the things the creator put you in a group where my friends have a lack or have something that I have, and also I lack something that all of you have. That's why the Creator put you in the best environment you could have to grow spirituality.
So I think it's agreed. The Creator put us here so we can all follow the same path. And here we are.
L'chaim.
No doubt. Yeah,
L'chaim.
go ahead.
All right. So the Creator chose us, brought us here, gave us the best possible situation, and we get to choose it back. It's an interesting point there because, like I mentioned earlier, there are going to be moments where you're going to be so happy with this choice. And many times you're going to be in this situation where you think to yourself, hey, you know, when I was brought into this group, they put me in here and I chose, I choose to be here. As if the choice ends there. And yet the choice never ends, because every second, every minute, every moment that you're with the friends, that you're thinking about the friends, where you're listening to the friends, where you're interacting with the friends, where you're working for the friends, you are choosing whether they're important to you or not. Because believe it or not, those people and those 9 friends that make up your 10 besides you, they could be sitting in a circle. You could be sitting right now in a lesson with 9 others, sitting in a circle, putting your arm on each other's shoulders, reading the same article, and completely not being together. Or you could just, every second of what your essence and existence together is so connected because you're choosing the importance of them. You're choosing to make them your choice. Even though you were brought here and told, I'm putting your hand on this good fate, take it or choose it. You still have to choose it. Right? I could be saying something right now that could change your world or your life completely, right? Something comes out of my mouth. You know, imagine that out of this person who just talks and talks, somehow there's something that I said that really could change your life. But if you choose to look at me and say, I don't know what he's saying. I don't believe what he's saying. Like that, I could talk from morning to night and nothing would make a difference. Same thing with Rav, same thing with the Creator himself. Or I choose that this is something that needs to make an influence on me. And that's how you make something great. That's how you raise importance. That's how you make that choice. How you choose those specific friends. You guys are amazing. For those of you who are going to the lesson, this is the time. And I guess we'll see you all next week. You have
Thanks, Zohar. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Thank you, Zohar. Love you.
Thanks, friends. L'chaim.
Good night, all.